On this episode of Carnage, we're going to begin our twin turbo V8 build. Yeah! Right, so we're about to kick off our build. We've got our ute, and because it's a pretty heavy duty build, a build of this caliber needs some heavy duty engineering, and Adam from MPW is going to be giving a hand with that. The boys are going to help us out with the cage, with the rear end, with the tuning, basically a lot of stuff. And we're going to start by weighing the car, scaling the car. This is something you do before all your builds?
Yeah, so we like to weigh cars before the build. We weigh them throughout the build. When you come and approach us about this, that's why I said to you, before we locate turbos, before we put anything else into it, let's weigh it as we go, because that way we know where we're putting the weight and what our spread's going to be. And it just saves us getting to the end and trying to have a fight of where weight is in the car and what we're doing and how we're going to bias things or how we're going to set a rear end up.
So it said on the scales down there at the public weighbridge, 1,240 kilos. You think that's...
I'm probably about there. I reckon that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, wow.
And I say that because these things were always around that 1,250, 1,300 kilo mark.
Yeah, wow. So that'd be cool if it is that light, because when we whack 2 turbos and 427 cubes in this thing, it's going to be a bit of a rocket.
Yeah, look, obviously for every 100 pound there's a tenth to be gained. So the more weight we can keep out of it, the better, obviously. So.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, let's throw it on the scales and see what we're dealing with. Okay, what do we got? 1320, 1321. So public weighbridge, not so accurate. It said 1240. We're 80 kilos up on that.
So what's that? That's 2,900 pound. How it sits right now.
Yeah, wow. Still pretty light.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah.
So that's lighter than my VK.
Well,
so it's a good sign.
And even when we put cage and stuff in, it's not like it needs, it's only got half a cage compared to a normal car.
You're pulling an iron block out, replacing with an iron block.
Yeah.
So you're going to be putting chromoly cage, which doesn't weigh very much at all.
It's not very heavy.
The diff that's in it at the moment is not going to be much heavier or much lighter, than what we're actually putting into it.
Yeah.
So you're basically going to put some turbos. I reckon it'll be around the 3,200 all done pound.
Yeah.
All right, so here's the embarrassing part. I'm going to hop in and we'll see what that does to it all.
So what was it? It was 1,320 kilos, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's 1845, Scotty. 1435. But the thing here is we're 8% heavier on the right-hand front than the left-hand front, but it's also carrying the weight through the right-hand rear. So the whole side of the car got heavy.
Yeah.
Whereas at least when we set it up with an ARB and everything, and it will offset your weight with battery and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And then when we set it up with the ARB, you'll see that even half a turn on an arm will completely change weights of the car.
Yeah. All right, well now we've got some information. Do you want to write some of that down, or does it matter until we actually start doing stuff to it?
No, it's all right. We have it on film. We can look back.
True, we do. All right, so from here, we're going to start ripping out the interior, rip out the engine and box, and then at that point, we'll ship it off to these boys, and they'll whack a cage in it, and make some stuff happen, because to be honest, we've got just over 2 months to have this ready. So, as of the filming of this video, it is 8 weeks until Drag Challenge, and we have not turned a single spanner on the car. We've done some preparation stuff in the background, putting engines in places and that sort of thing, getting machine work done. But yeah, we haven't turned a spanner on this car. We've got 8 weeks to have it ready for Drag Challenge. So let's hook in and strip out the interior. Now I was going to do the engine and box as well. However, we feel it's better at the moment to keep the car mobile. So we'll strip the entire interior out and then probably bolt the driver's seat back in so we can move it around. But yeah, We need to get this stripped out so Adam can build a cage for it. Let's get it going. There's some definite weirdness in this car. Like the handbrake is over here and not in the center. And most people would say, oh, it's because it was originally a column shift car. Okay, I could accept that, except the build plate says it was factory 5-speed manual. True story. So a 5-speed manual car would not have a bench seat. So I'm confused. Unless, you know, that was a thing at some point. Maybe they did do a bench seat manual version. I don't know. Maybe someone can answer that question for us. But yeah, the build plate says V6, 5-speed manual. But yeah, handbrake's over here and not in the center. Just, yeah, strangeness. And someone has definitely done some stuff with this car because it doesn't have the original engine in it. We found that out when we went through roadworthy. The seat bolt here, it should usually be an Allen key, and it's not. It's a 10mm bolt. Someone's inserted in there instead of an Allen key bolt. So, just odd things, yeah. And it used to be red, maybe. Okay. So it looks like we might have answered our own question. While I've been looking around for tools, Matt has done a bit of a Google, and apparently the, I'll say bench seat manual thing was a thing. It wasn't really a bench seat. It was this weird sort of bucket and a little dicky seat combo. There's another shot that shows the gear stick a bit clearer. But yeah, apparently that was an option in the VS Commodore where they put a little middle seat in here, and but with the manual shifter, which is weird, you know. Would be super awkward to be that person sitting in the middle, you know, with this someone having to work the shifter between your legs. But anyway, it is what it is. There you go. This must have been one of those weird cars. Who knew? These Allen keys are the worst on these seats. They're buried way down in there. I might be able to get the thing onto it now. All the way forward now. Can I get at them? Jesus, there's not a lot of room in this thing. Why did we pick a Ute again? Right. How's that for the world's longest seat bolt? Totally unnecessary. There is a fucking Phillips head screw in it. You are kidding. There's some weird butchery going on here. Like, who the hell puts a Phillips head screw to hold a seat in? Wow. So not only did they put a Phillips head screw or bolt in the top, they had a nut and a washer underneath the floor. Sometimes I just hate people. Okay, there we go. Okay. It's that part. Well, 2 seat belts on that side, so that confirms the middle seat option. At least the gear stick will be easy. Oh look, some time slips. And some change. I might be able to get a McFlurry. Actually, do they still do the Grimace birthday shakes? Because this car is kind of coloured that way. In fact, the Street Machine team has taken to calling this car Grimace. I'm not a fan of the name myself, but what do you guys think? Should we call it Grimace? I don't know. No one ever makes their own name up, so I guess we'll find out what you guys feel. Huh, there's no screws actually holding that in. Okay, center section. Right, oh wow. There's some specialness in here. That's ridiculous. All right, here we go. Look at that. All right, carpet. Oh, okay. Feel like I need a hazmat suit. So it looks like something's hit up underneath, or maybe someone stupidly put a jack under the floor pan and dented the floor pan. But yeah, it's cracked up a heap of the insulation. We are going to have to lift this stuff up because we need to have, you know, raw metal to weld to weld the roll cage to, which means we have to go down and get some dry ice. Won't that be fun? There we go. That's better. Okay. It's not bad condition, but it is just filthy. It's a great little smuggling hatch here. I wonder how many cartons got smuggled into Summernats and into Bathurst under this little hatch. From memory, there's a bit of room under there. All right, let's pop the hatch. As you can see, plenty of room for our fuel system, our battery, which will all get relocated up here under the floor. It's yeah, it's quite a handy little hatch under there. And I can see the back side of those bolts that come through the firewall up front forward of the tank. So we'll be able to get to them. But yeah, this is going to work. It's going to work awesomely. Yeah, that's going to fit easy. Don't know, I don't think it'll fit up there. Oh, it's close, isn't it? You'd have to use the tight radius fittings up there, but down here, yeah, miles of room. So yeah, we can put the surge pot down there, probably battery over this side as well, and then filters and all that sort of stuff can go up here where we don't need as much room, but flex fuel all can go up there. Heaps of room. See, now we've got Scotty behind the camera and Matt in there doing the work. He fits in the tiny spots.
Like a carny. Small hands, smell like cabbage.
Wow, that was easier than I thought it'd be. For me. Matt may have a different opinion. Alright, let's have a look. Let's see. Whoa, it pops up. Might get the safety glasses and we may not need dry ice. This thing coming off with a soft hammer. Well, I reckon I can keep banging away on the floor till the cows come home and I won't get it all. So this is the solution. Dry ice pellets. Stuff's denser and heavier than I remember. Listen to it crack. You can hear the insulation cracking away from the floor because the dry ice is so cold. It just cools it so rapidly that it actually lifts up away from the floor. And while we're waiting for that, fuck! Oh, look at that. Straight up under it. Now, get those edges. So, dry ice is frozen carbon dioxide, basically the stuff we breathe out. And it is really, really cold, like really cold. So heavy gloves when you're handling it. They will only sell you about 20 kilos if you're putting it in the boot of your car, because this stuff can displace oxygen, all right? So as it sublimes, it cooks off, it can displace the oxygen. We're all right here in a large shed, but in a car, if you're going a long distance and say it vents out your esky or whatever, it can displace the oxygen in the vehicle, and people have died. So it is a safety thing. So they will only sell you 20 kilos. It's pretty cheap. It's only like $5.50 a kilo. And it's really good at removing sound deadening. I think we got too much dry ice. The beauty is it'll just evaporate in the bin. Right, well, that is 99% of the sound deadening done. Just got to do a little bit along this edge, but yeah, we're pretty much done here. So we have the seats, the trim, the carpet, the sound deadening is all out. We still need to do the door trims, you know, the door cards. Take them off because they've got the big speaker pods on there. We're going to have to lose them. We need all that to be gone before we start putting the cage in there. But the cage is the job of the MPW guys. They are experts in this field. So we're going to be sending the car over to them, and you're going to see all that on a future episode of Carnage. Fuck!